Hey, welcome back to another episode for Life for Living Well. My name is Richard. Before I dive into the topic that I have for us this week, I'd like to say if you'd like to know one or two things about the community, Life for Living Well, you will find it out on our website at www.lifeforlivingwell.com. If you also would like to receive our weekly article, and if you also would like to know when the podcast is released, please sign up on the website with your email. And if you just put your email down as a member, so you will get the article that will release every week. So let's dive into the topic that we have this week without taking much of your time. The topic that we're looking at this week is what I call the joy of movement. Without elaborate about it, you could ask, what is joy of movement? Is there any joy associating moving your body, moving yourself? We'll find out by the time we come to the end of this podcast. As we normally do, we take one person inspirational word and we use it to open the podcast. For this particular topic, I'm taking from Kelly McGonigal, and Kelly put it this way: the movement offers us pleasure, identity, belonging, and hope. It puts us in places that are good for us, whether that is outdoors, in nature, or in an environment that challenges us, or with a supportive community. This is so true if you care enough to be reflected about your own movement. If you look back 5 years ago, where were you? If you look to who you are today, what have shaped your understanding, what have shaped your identity. So there are few things in life that spark as much intrinsic joy as movement. Our bodies naturally crave it, yet many of us instinctively resist it. It's that we blame the weather, it's too cold, it's too hot, it's raining. So when we neglect the connection between mind and body for too long, we often face deeper consequences. And what are these consequences? It shows up in few areas, most notably physical and the mental stagnancy. So when you find an activity that keeps you moving, the benefits to your well-being are profound. Personally, I often wonder why we avoid it. Over the years, I've had every excuse in quote. I have two left feet. Or if you invite someone to dance, or maybe you invite them to come to the dance class, one of the ways to avoid it, because they feel like they will embarrass themselves, or they really want to make their space, they give you an excuse and having two left feet. Simply means that they are not natural, they know how to dance, but no one will learn it. I simply cannot dance. Movement isn't about grace, it is about life. So the cost of stillness, let's look at that. When we don't do anything, when we don't move. So what is the cost associated to state of stillness? Human beings struggle to thrive without physical connection. Yet modern life keeps us stationary, especially if you live in the Western world. It's so default that you prioritize your space, your alone time, your privacy. That the time just go because you go from work, come back home, from work, come back home, that you totally forgot what this connection means. So hours spent behind desks or in front of television screens can also confine us to a state of stillness. We often view running, walking, or swimming as a call rather than choices that it's actually good for us. As I've learned, movement is not one size fits all. If running feels like a body, perhaps dancing is your secondary language. Dancing as a way of awakening an inherited joy within body that other exercise might not reach. There is something called for marathon runner. After you finish marathon, despite the pain in all your body, for numbers of days, there's kind of happiness that your brain keep releasing the happiness chemical into your body. And it's actually really good for you. The same when you go dancing and you sweat, or you go to the gym and you sweat, the happy chemical that your brain releases to your body, it comes with a lot of deeper edge benefit for you at the same time. So, finding the flow state. So what is it that I mean by finding the flow state? So when you embrace movement, whether through a brisk walk or high energy dance, you eventually reach a point where the mind, body, and soul align. You enter a state of flow at that moment that nothing else is more important than the single mindedness of your body. So a moment of oneness filled with energy. Much like a long distance runner reaching the zone. So if you're a runner, you will appreciate that. So there is a point where the body surrenders and you don't feel the pains anymore. So during the race, your brain will be telling you all kind of, your thoughts will be, your mind will be come up with all kind of thoughts. At that moment, you never even been in McDonald's for a long time. You see McDonald's along the road. You'll be saying to yourself, once I finish this race, I will ask for the biggest bulk that they have. And if they don't have a biggest burger, you will go for selections of different boneless chickens. Or if you are vegetarian, you go for the vegetarian meal. All these kind of things. You also be looking at yourself when your body starts sending you pain notes into your brain, and you're feeling the pain across your joint, and you're asking yourself, why am I doing this to myself? And mostly you pay your money to run, not that somebody pay you to run, except you being selected to do it for the charity. So once you enter that moment, everything becomes zero. So the much like a long distance. So once you reach the zone, you don't notice the pain in your body anymore. Your mind go bottomless blind, and you are just flowing. Sometimes it doesn't feel like you are running on the ground anymore. You become more lighter. Your body now become more complement with the surface that you're running on. So there is a point where the body surrender. Your thoughts quiet down. your lips feel lighter, and for a moment, you move as effortlessly as the wind. And to get to that point, you must have as covered some distances. So why joy of movement is matter today in our world? So why are we so captivated by Olympians or professional dancers? It isn't just their skills, it is their synchronicity. If you say two dance partner on a dance floor, they didn't speak a word. They might not even look into each other's eyes directly most of the time. But someone send a signal, another person respond to it. And they both create a beautiful output. We sit at home, sometimes we cannot close our mouth. How did they do that? So imagine how we feel the beauty, the joy, how much more those who created it will feel it within themselves. So we are drawn to the powerful sense of unity that comes when a human being pushes past their passive limit to find total flow. So beyond the spiritual, the tangible benefits of movement are undeniable. One, neurological growth. What did I mean by that? I mean, physical activity is linked to increased brain health and plasticity. So determine that you have a tendency to use your brain longer than you could have imagined. Two, restorative sleep. Movement regulates your circadian rhythms. And lastly, emotional resilience. It boosts mood and reduces reactive responses to stress and life daily challenges, which we have in abundance. Our partner could testify to this. Maybe we're very snappy when we don't sleep well, when we have a short sleep, when things in our mind, we take it out to the people that we care more. At the end, we hurt them. People don't remember what you do for them, they remember how you make them feel. And as I'm bringing it to the end, I want to leave you with this few lines. I want you to start where you are. Don't pretend to start where somebody else is. I want you to start where you are. You know where you are. So incorporate movement into your routine, not as a punishment, but as a gift. Even 20 minutes can fundamentally shift your perspective. So, my friend, start today. Your body is waiting to move. Thank you for your time and have a wonderful week. Ciao.